Well, Jim, we're recording here at 10:08 p.m. Originally, the plan was to let this Bills Patriots game play out, dissect a hard-fought AFC wildcard showdown of sorts. Instead, we decided to hit record a little early for a multitude of reasons. Josh Allen is pretty much unstoppable. Bill Belichick coached like a coward. Mac Jones wasn't bad, but he had a drop pass early, and Micah Hyde, maybe it starts and ends there. That interception that he made, and I want to get into your courtship of Micah Hyde on this podcast, but we decided to record a little early here because it's not really much of a game whatsoever. The Bills are curb stomping the New England Patriots right now, 33-3. We'll get into Bengals Raiders a little bit later, but Jim, initial thoughts here on an absolute ass whooping.
I think this is one of those where, we've talked about how good I think the Bills are. You definitely do too. But you can't predict this type of game. Like, the Patriots defense is legit. I mean, for them to do this to the Patriots defense and in this type of weather to witness possibly three of the most special playoff plays we always have to remember. That catch by Dawson Knox and throw to start the game, the Micah Hyde interception, ridiculous. And wait, what was the third one? There was another. Who caught the second? Oh no, that the other touchdown he whipped in there to not just insane.
Yeah.
Josh, I mean, just on a different level, this quarterback. Like, seriously, on a different level.
He really is. And I really thought that Bill Belichick wouldn't have answers. I didn't think he was going to come out and just shut down Josh Allen.
Can't.
But
no, you can't, right.
But I was really surprised earlier in the day on Saturday today when I think it was Diana Rossini, and it's not like the Bills are going to be like making their game plan public, but I think she put out there in so many words, expect man-to-man defense, JC Jackson over there on Diggs. Like, I get it. I mean, I guess they did zone the last game and they got tore up, but I don't know, week in and week out, we've seen defenses when you go man to man, Josh Allen will tear you up. You're throwing into space, right? He's just throwing it into space and letting these really fast receivers just run under the ball, and it's over. It's game over. So I'm surprised, but even beyond the X's and O's, I'm really surprised that New England is just laying an egg like this, because this past week, and maybe this is classic overthinking the issue. Now, I thought the Bills were going to win. I thought it'd be a one-score game. The Bills would just kind of make the last play to win, but I thought the Patriots would come out angry. The way they lost against Miami, it just I thought that would leave like a nasty feeling, a bad taste in their mouth. Bill Belichick back in the playoffs. They'd script a great game plan, and they would be able to kind of keep ahead of the score, to do what they want to do on offense, but it was none of that. I mean, they came out lethargic, and it wasn't just the players that were lethargic. I mean, the decision, Jim, to punt on 4th and 1, wherever they were on their own 35, something.
They were back. I mean, it was. Yeah, I agree.
Fall forward for half of a yard. Fall forward. That was surrender. I mean, and when he punted there, I said the game is over. We should have hit record then.
I was surprised by that too. I mean, that's your chance. You saw the way the game was going. That was your chance to really maybe flip the momentum a little bit and keep the ball and, okay, hey, we're okay. Let's get this. And just punting it back at a time when they weren't stopping them. Like, they weren't slowing them down one time. I don't know how you stop this offense right now. Good luck. This offense is loaded.
They'll be able to move the ball against Kansas City.
I'm just telling you right now, I'm taking them. Yeah. Love them against KC. I think they're going to score up and down on them.
As good as that Chiefs defense looked for a good 2 months,
that was
a relapse. It was a relapse against Cincinnati.
I'd say it was good, but it's not completely fixed. If you've really paid attention to it, it's still what it is. It's okay. it's still going to depend on getting pressure on Josh if you can.
I mean, they're going to look for 49. They're going to look for Sorensen and abuse him whatever they can.
I feel like it's whoever. I mean, just pick. I mean, they are just they're complete. I mean, they are complete offense.
I don't know if there's anything to this as well, but the Bills playing a game against, I mean, I'm kind of giving the Chiefs a bye week in my head against the Steelers. They will play the Steelers. They do have to win a game, but it
So
just
that was
if
bad by
momentum.
both of us. That was bad by both.
I know, right? And you know I'm very pro Steelers, but
And you know I'm not, and so
and you're not. But it does feel like there's something to. I believe in momentum. I really do. I think it's a real thing, and the Bills have it
yeah,
right now.
I agree,
and that's
and
dangerous.
what do we always talk about on the show? Health. They're very healthy. They're very
Yeah.
healthy.
It's kind of like they went through all their COVID stuff when they had to, and they kind of got
Yeah,
that out of the way at the best possible time.
Well,
I want to ask
what
you
kind
this.
of Hamburg brew was getting you through these first round of the playoff? Any
Ooh,
frosty? I was doing some frosty IPA the other night too at a Juicy Burger Bar in Hamburg.
Juicy Burger Bar, great spot.
I moved into Hamburg now, so
You're a Hamburgite. That's right.
I'm here. I'm in the
You're down
house.
here with us. And we're even looking to keep going south, maybe down the road. So maybe you want to just follow us to Springville, eventually work our way to South Jamaica. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll go to Bradford. We're gonna end up
So
down in
you and
Ridgeway.
I'm gonna have to explain to you what South is for me.
Yeah, right.
That means Charleston, South Carolina. So I'll meet you down there.
To answer your question, grounded.
Yeah.
Grounded, baby. The bourbon barrel aged 10%ers.
Yeah. That's what you had at our last pod when we were there.
Yeah. It's a good way to go. I mean, you cannot go wrong with Hamburg this time of year. So definitely
it's that type of weather. That's what was making me think about it. This weather.
Yeah.
How they can make these throws and catches in this weather too.
Oh my God. The Bills are making it look like it's a 75-degree day. I mean, like it's nothing. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what's remarkable. I mean, for Josh Allen to throw as hard as he throws, and for them to catch the ball.
Yes. Micah Hyde to make that pick in this weather.
Devin Singletary.
Oh my gosh.
The way he's running in this weather. Really, this is exactly what his trainer Nick Hicks down at Perform in Florida, the way he detailed it.
Yep.
Just looking back, I mean, it was all about one cut and go. Don't dance. Don't fart around back there and go side to side. And he didn't. I mean, that's the thing. Like all these trainers, they usually blow a lot of smoke up guys' ass. And so I get it. If you're reading a story about a trainer in the off season, and I get the skepticism. I mean, I've been covering the league, I don't know, 11, 12 years. And, it's easy to fall into that trap. And in the off season, it's May, it's June, and you're talking to these trainers, you're trying to get stories, and every single one of them is going to say, oh, he's a new player and he's working with me. Of course he's, but I did that story because I really believed it. Like this felt real. It did. Like this is a guy who's worked with Dalvin Cook that was really detailing exactly what he did with Devin Singletary down to a science. And he wasn't bullshitting. He said that they sat down, they watched this film, or he watched Devin Singletary's film, and they sat down, they talked about it, and he told him, you're not explosive. You're not an explosive player. And you're going side to side. And you're wishy-washy. So I don't know. I felt it was real with Nick Hicks. It wasn't just fluff. And it was a weird start to the season for Buffalo, but I don't know. I don't think, a lot like Isaiah McKenzie, I don't think it had anything to do with Devin Singletary. It had to do with usage. It had to do with role. It had to do with the identity of the team. That's why I wrote that they were soft. At that point of the season, this felt like a soft team that didn't really, whether psychologically, identity on the field, the way they approach games, it just was a front running kind of team. But with Singletary kind of prioritized, he's kind of helped change that identity on the fly. But even bigger than that, Josh Allen tucking and running it. That's helped.
For me, it was the way they reacted after the Tampa game, where they know they could have won that game, and their attitude, it almost looked like they were like, we're fine. We're going to be okay. Like, we know what we have. Like, it was almost like that gave them belief, like, hey, we're back. Because I feel like they dominated that second half. And I feel like since then they played pretty, like, I feel like we're seeing that same, like that Bills team that last year was just unstoppable. That offense has that feel to it right now.
Honestly, too, when I watched those press conferences from afar, and it was just kind of in the moment, I thought it was weird. And we might have even talked about it. I was kind of like, you guys, I mean, mostly out of Sean McDermott, like I get it, but you guys lost the game, and you drop one more of these things in the AFC, you ain't missed the playoffs. It seemed a little too
Yes.
chipper.
Yeah.
But they know that. I mean, he knows the team. The players know the team, and they saw something there in that second half. They were right.
Yeah, I felt that way. I almost was like, are they actually like satisfied with losing a game?
Yeah, yeah.
But the more now I'm looking at it, like, they never panicked. Like, they always believed.
Yeah.
You know,
And the belief comes from the quarterback. I mean, he is
no
looking
doubt.
like
That
a
$100%,
$154 million guy
It's
right now.
it's every single. We're gonna see. Well, we keep saying we're gonna see him against Mahomes next week. We keep. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop because there is the Steelers. I mean, they do have a game.
I think I've hyperlinked that story in other stories like 20 times at least since we launched Go Long. But it's
Like,
true. That's what it's about, Jim. That's what it comes down to.
here it is.
I know it seems like we're beating a dead horse, but
This
the
is
owner wanted Patrick Mahomes.
it.
You had the shot at Patrick Mahomes. You decide not to take Patrick Mahomes. Your plan B,
Here it
your
is.
consolation prize, what you guys traded for with the extra pick, it leads to Josh Allen, which is really, really good. And they're going to go at it in the AFC for a long time.
It's unbelievable.
Any other stories from that? Look, I know we bring it up all the time, but the
No,
people want to know. Are there you brought up the Kim Pagula and the
no, I
cafeteria
know.
last time?
Yeah, just that one. But
Any other meat on that bone?
no, I feel like we did it pretty. I feel like we did justice to it. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's 4th and goal. The Patriots
I'm
have
not
it
even,
about the
man. I'm not
3.
even
They're down 33-3. Mac Jones going for the fade. He's got a man touchdown. Kendrick Bourne. Here's what I don't get. All right, Kendrick Bourne, he's staring down the Bills fans right now. He's looking them right in the eye in the first row. Where do you I mean, I'm all for celebrating. I'm all for a good taunt. It doesn't
time
seem
and
like
place.
the time or place.
Time
33
and place. No, you got to have self-awareness.
He's looking right at him. Oh,
Tyler,
man, I bet you he doesn't return to shopping cart.
Tyler, you know what I wanted to bring up? I forgot to tell you this. As a basketball fan, I am so happy that college basketball coaches do not wear suits anymore on the sideline. I have always wondered. I've never understood why basketball coaches had to wear suits. It never made sense to me. And I think it's been one of the secretly, not a lot of people are talking about it, but more of I think it's a really good move to see basketball coaches not in suits anymore.
What would you want your basketball coach to be in? What's the ideal outfit?
Like who would I want to play for?
No, like what should a coach wear out there?
No, I'm good with, like, you don't want to go too. Was the George Costanza, like, sweatpants? You know, they said if you wear sweatpants,
$5 hoodie. Like
if you wear sweatpants out in public is like a sign you've given up in life. Or
I do
whatever.
all the time. Oh,
so do I. But that was a Seinfeld. Yeah. It was a good George
I was working
Costanza.
at a coffee shop today in sweatpants.
Yeah, same.
I just, I'm not trying to
Same.
impress anybody. It's
all
kind
good.
of let the neck hair go a little, and we're both bald. Sometimes you let the scrub on the side go. Some nose hairs start poking out. That's where that when the nose hairs start poking out, that's when you've really checked out, and you got to get on that.
That's I would say that's pretty accurate. That's a good way to seriously is a good way to just say that guy is.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting into the realm of disgusting, but I
Yeah,
went on
so we're good.
Drew Maggary's podcast. He has a fantastic site, The Defector. Obviously, they're all at Deadspin. They created their own site. Drew is just an exceptional writer. He's hilarious. I went on his show, and all of a sudden, toward the end of it, he's out there. I love reading his stuff. He said that his favorite thing to do at that time was to pluck his nose hairs. He would literally pull them from his nostrils, and he got great joy out of it. So it drives his wife nuts. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's a
would she
questionable
prefer him?
habit.
Yeah, well, would she prefer him to have nostrils full of nose hairs?
I mean, I think there's ways to handle it, but
There's humane ways, right?
that's
You're right. More
that's a
civil
tough one to
ways.
defend. That's a tough one to defend.
All right, I do.
Okay.
All right, Bills, Patriots. Anything else? Anything else from this game that stood out to you?
Well, I mean, there's nothing to say. Like it's just those ones. Wow, it's about as good as it gets.
The only thing I'll add
Cats.
is we've been pretty critical. I've been pretty critical of Sean with the way he coaches the game, and it
Yeah.
seems like at times he get the Tampa game. The punting, the not just playing into your quarterback and just going for. I don't know if he's there yet himself. Like this Chiefs game is going to be the test because the last time they played the Chiefs, they're settling for the chip shot
Tyler,
field
we
goal.
gotta stop. What if the Steelers win? This is going to be the worst podcast.
You're right.
We are going to be attacked by your Steeler. You have a Steeler following too.
I love I hate the talk of culture and foundation and all that unless we're talking about the Steelers. Then I'm all for it because I think it's real there.
I'm laughing because I do think, I mean, I'm definitely taking KC tomorrow, but it's never that easy with the Steelers. I don't understand anything about their team.
Is that though the ultimate, like, you could, like, if you're new to gambling, you could throw down like $500 on the money line and just know you're going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You could.
It's worth
right?
it. It's always worth it. It's always worth it. Anybody can beat anybody.
I don't know the math on that. If you throw down
tomorrow?
$500 on the Chiefs.
I'll tell you right now. Why, you going to do it? How are you enjoying that? Are you hooked?
Well, I took advantage of the free cash that these apps were throwing out to bet. Caesars was doing 300, FanDuel was doing 100, and I went in on it. Did pretty well in week 18.
Good.
May or may not have been pretty confident that the New York Giants would lay another egg, and then I used that win to go down. I went in on the Bengals. I mean, it got a little dicey there at the end, but they held strong. They covered.
It's fun though.
And
You're enjoying
I'm
it.
taking, yeah, it's fun. I'm taking San Francisco tomorrow money line. I think that they're gonna.
Yeah, it seems to
take
be
it to Dallas. It's a good match.
I feel like that's become a popular take right now. That game to me is like, I want no part of gambling on that game. Like no part of it. Those teams seem, I could just see either team. I do think Tampa should cover, but it's never that easy. But I like KC given 12.5, and that's a lot of points. I just don't see how the Steelers score. Like to keep up with them. Yeah.
I mean, they're going to feed Najee Harris, but he's a 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's not the kind of game that you want to play against Kansas.
We'll see.
Never that easy. What I was going to say is, so we're critical of Sean and the way he coaches.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to be critical of Bill Belichick. I mean, I'm crowning him at every turn. That was pathetic. That was pathetic in the first half to not just the 4th and 1 punt, but the 4th and he had like a 4th and 8 or 4th and 9 at midfield when you're down 3 scores. Like, you're not stopping the Bills. Whatever you're doing on defense with your son is not working. You need to score points to have a chance. You need to get some kind of momentum to have a shot. And in both cases, he punts. And in both cases, the Bills immediately get to the spot where they were anyways. I just don't get it. I mean, you're the greatest coach of all time. He is, hands down, the best coach of all time. But to not evolve and to not think and know this is what you need to do to even give your team a shot. The Bills were going to win anyways. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't matter, I guess. But that was just surrender. That was white flag waving. We're done. Punt. Good night.
No, I think it's fair criticism. I was laughing because of that. I saw that thing on Twitter with Shady McCoy on that one show he was on this week, and he was betting an old linebacker, DJ Williams. He was betting him that he said Belichick will never win another Super Bowl. I promise you. He's like, he will never win. I mean, good luck. This quarterback has he is every bit of a rookie. Like, you can't sit there and I've said it all year. I haven't seen it with him, and it's just not there. I don't see it. I don't see the special ability.
You know what's really interesting? I'm gonna pull it up here too, but it's where numbers can kind of deceive you to an extent. Like if you were to look at Mac Jones's rookie numbers, he's completed 67.6% of his passes for 3,801 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. All right. Then you go to Josh Allen's rookie stats. Hang on. And you've got
this is when we thought he was
right, 52.8% of his passes,
amazing.
2,074 yards, 10 touchdowns, 12 picks through the air with some running on top of that, obviously. But Mac
amazing.
Jones, I mean, he's blowing him out of the water. So
amazing
in a rookie year, and yet there's a feeling, and I don't know if it's right. I'm not ready to go to where you are right now, I think, but I get your feeling on like you watch a Mac Jones game, and you're like, this is the kind of game it's gonna be, right? Where is he gonna get better from here? Yeah. And then you saw Josh Allen. It was like, all right, at least he's got the balls to, try that throw into double coverage. At least he's trying to thread that needle. At least he's kind of flopping all over the place, jumping over Anthony Barr like he did in week 2 or 3, whenever that was. At least he's trying that shit. And I get it. Like you're probably right. I don't know though. Like I guess I'm not ready to say like they're not going to get over the hump with Mac Jones, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because I mean these teams with these quarterbacks that they're going to be facing each other for the foreseeable future.
I just can't wait for this Kansas City Pittsburgh game.
It's weird to see Steelers like injury reports just drag across the bottom scroll of the television. Like I had to do a couple double takes this week. What? Oh yeah, they're in the playoffs. That's right. Yeah, they're there.
It's bad.
We can mock the Steelers all we want. We should be going after the Chargers. I mean, to lose.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to sit there and mock
against the Texans and then the
Raiders.
Raiders. I'm all about Brandon Staley, but that collapse, it did not get the ridicule that it probably deserved at the end because that was bad.
That Colts one is right there with it. That Colts one was pretty bad. The way they collapsed too.
Yeah, can't just skim past the Colts. They beat this Bills team 41-15.
Amazing.
Oh my God. All right.
Well,
Bengals, Raiders, real quick. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Thoughts is just like your article. Guy is a star. Joe Burrow. That's what happens when you get the right quarterback. Cincinnati and Buffalo are relevant. Why weren't they relevant before? Very simple. They didn't have the quarterback.
Man.
Had nothing to do with the cities. Had nothing to do with this. And get the right quarterback.
Yeah. And that's where I'm not going to, man, Joe Judge was pretty worked up last year about the tanking. If you're a bad team and it's December, if you're a fan of that bad team in December, I don't think you're that upset if your team's losing. If you know there's a Burrow out there, if you know you've got a
That would be,
shot at, but Josh Allen was what, the seventh pick?
yeah,
There were other teams that had a shot at him and they passed
no
too.
question. Same with Mahomes. Same with Aaron Rodgers. Those are the
Yeah.
three best quarterbacks. Burrow, number 4. He was the only one that went. He went number 1. Think about that. He's the only one.
It's a combination of luck and timing, but you're scouting. I mean, you have to know, you have to differentiate the Josh Allens from the
That's a
Josh
whole other
Rosen's.
episode if you think about that. What does
Oh,
that
I
say
know.
about scouting? And then throw Tom Brady in there, maybe the 5th best
Oh,
quarterback this year. 6th round pick. Like, how are these guys not the number 1 overall pick?
yeah.
That's
Burrow
crazy.
Burrow was great, but they settled for a lot of field goals. It should not have been that close. They were knocking at the door all
Oh, I
game.
100% agree with you. That's when those teams settle for field goals, it's like
Yeah.
you're going to keep these teams around. That's the
Yeah.
difference in every game for me. Finishing drives in the end zone
Yeah.
it'll separate you.
They had to survive it, but I still think that Cincinnati's feeling pretty good. They had a couple injuries in
Yeah,
that
I
game.
noticed that the 2D linemen are big time
Yeah,
players. We got
no
to pay
doubt about
attention
it.
to that. Yeah,
But it's good to see them advance. Just Joe Burrow is
agree. Agree. That
fun
was
to
cool to
watch.
see.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, last thought here before we sign off, Jim. I know it was kind of a segment for a little bit, our asshole of the week
Yeah, who you
idea.
got?
I think I'm getting off of shopping carts. I'm moving on to something else. I'm done. I think it's mission
Are you?
accomplished with the shopping carts.
Yeah,
There's enough
it's out there. You don't need
there's
to
enough
hear about it
soldiers out
here.
there, right? There's enough people out there policing the situation.
You've done a good
People that
job with it.
send me videos and sending me updates on all that. So I took a little flight to the great Midwest for a story I go along that will be dropping next week. Um, we'll leave it at that. Little tease
Hmm.
of sorts. But flying back, I
Hmm.
land in Detroit. Plane pulls up. And granted, we've talked about this before, but I just got to keep spreading the word up. The Bills just scored another touchdown. They're going to go up 40 to 10 now. Gabe Davis. Oh, there's still a whole quarter left too.
Gabe
Mitch
Davis
Trubisky's
scored.
going to come in and just start throwing all over the Patriots. Yeah. So our plane our plane pulls in, and I mean what happens, right? We pull up to the gate immediately. Boom. Everybody pops up out of their seat.
Right.
Normal. I'm sitting. I don't know where I was, like 15 or 16 row. And I kind of, in the corner of my eye, I see he's probably 25, 26 years old, hippie, Generation Z. See, now I'm a millennial, but now I can be curmudgeon and look down at Generation Z, like
It's fair.
these, like,
I think I'm a
yellow
Gen
head
X. I
clouds.
think I'm a Gen X. I think I'm a
Is that
Gen
what you are?
X.
Yeah.
Okay.
I spot him. Unkept hair. I don't know if it was dreads, or I don't know if it was just not cleaned hair, a beanie on top. Very, very, probably listens to a lot of Dispatch. Probably what else would he do? Probably has a
I like
yo-yo
that.
in his back pocket just in
Right.
case.
That's the
That kind of
best thing
stuff.
about people watching, like being able to dissect somebody just from it's
Cultural
impressive.
standpoint.
It's just like it's scouting. It's like scouting.
It is. Oh, but I see him in my peripheral,
Mm-hmm.
and he's coming in hot. And so the move that I like to do is, all right, so if there's any old high school basketball players out there, this was taught to me at Rhonda Carley's basketball camp at Alfred University. Went there every summer. He used to coach for St. Bonaventure. The best time of our lives at basketball camp. We went out there
Yeah.
every summer. It was the best. There's an older kid there, and I remember he told me at this camp, look, if somebody's going to like set a screen on you, if you're playing defense, and you can see it in your corner eye, he's going to set a screen on you, stick your elbow out. So he's going to like mash into your elbow, and then just kind of lean in. So just
Yeah.
enough to where the ref doesn't see it. And you're going to hit him directly into the sternum, He ain't going to set a screen on you the rest of the game.
Done.
And you win that battle. So that's exactly the kind of move you can pull off in this situation, Jim. And I want our listeners to use this maneuver. If you see hippie dispatch listener with the yo-yo in his pocket, ready to cut ahead of you after the plane is at the gate, just get up, stick that elbow out, and as he, rushes to cut ahead of in a civil society, you deplane by the row.
Boom.
If he tries to get off of the plane in an uncivil manner, just give him
I think it's
a little
fair.
elbow to the sternum.
I like it.
I gave him a little elbow, and he was incredulous. And with everybody watching, I'm getting my bag, and I said, "Oh, this must be one of those planes that doesn't deplane by the row. It's one of those planes, huh?" And he goes, all the other people got a kick out of it because everybody else can see the absurdity. For the most part, people are sane and people are good and kind and want to live in a society. Mm-hmm. And he looks at me, he goes, "No, it's whoever has to." No, he goes, "The way it goes is it's whoever gets off the plane first. Whoever has to get out, whoever can just hurry off the plane." He said this. He was incredulous. He couldn't believe that I had called him out. So I get my bag and we get off, and it was a small plane. So it was one of those things where I was getting my computer bag out, but my main bag was like the mini checked in where you get it off the carousel. Mm-hmm. So we thought that we were going to have to stand by each other this whole time. Right. He just got right off and gave me a dirty look, and that was that. But
I think you made a good effort. I think you made a good effort. Hopefully he'll learn his lesson.
I hope he has a bruise. I wish I would have given him more of a shot. It was a very gentle love tap of an elbow.
I think he did the right thing. I think that's the way to do it because it's not worth it. It's not worth going big on it.
Well, I don't think the Patriots are going to come back here at 40-10. So what do you think, Jim?
No, and we already wrote off the Steelers, so
they haven't even kicked the ball off.
Haven't even kicked the ball off yet.
Thanks for listening, everyone. That was fun. We'll do it again tomorrow night, possibly, maybe. Make penance for our Steelers. All right. See you guys.